Okay, so like everyone's talking about this whole microlearning thing, right? And especially these 7-minute modules.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah. So we wanted to do a deep dive into it and see, like if the hype is real or just, another learning fad.
Right, exactly. Because,
Right.
like, staying ahead in today's world, it feels impossible with the amount of information coming at us.
It really is. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose.
I like that.
But the promise of learning new skills in just 7 minutes a day, I mean, come on, that's pretty tempting, right?
Yeah, 7 minutes. That's less time than it takes to, like, make a cup of coffee.
Exactly. So let's break it down and see what's really going on here.
Yeah.
Like what is it about microlearning that makes it so effective?
Well, the science behind it's actually pretty fascinating. It tackles this thing called the forgetting curve. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, vaguely. Like, I know I forget stuff, but
Right. Well, we all do. It's like
yeah,
you attend a workshop all day, you feel like you learned so much, but then a week later, poof, it's gone.
yeah, tell me about it. It's like my brain just hits delete.
Exactly. And research shows that people forget up to 50% of new information within an hour if it's not reinforced.
Wow, 50%. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And that's where microlearning comes in. These 7-minute modules, they deliver these short, focused bursts of information that are way easier for our brains to process and remember.
So it's like instead of trying to cram everything in at once, it's more about spacing it out and reinforcing it over time.
Exactly. And these modules, they use spaced repetition and quizzes and stuff to really make that information stick.
So like kind of like how you learn a language on Duolingo or something.
Exactly. It's all about making learning more manageable and digestible. And it works. The Association for Talent Development found that microlearning can increase knowledge retention by an average of 20%.
20%. That's a huge difference.
Yeah, and in some cases, it can even be as high as 60%.
Okay, so it's definitely effective, but I'm curious with the whole 7 minutes thing. Like, is that enough time to really learn anything?
That's a great question, and it might seem counterintuitive, but think about it this way. How much time do you actually have for learning in a typical day?
Well, realistically, probably not much.
Right. The average employee only has about 24 minutes a week for formal learning.
Wow, that's less time than I spend scrolling through social media.
Exactly. So these 7-minute modules, they're designed to fit into those little pockets of time you have throughout the day.
Like your commute, your lunch break, even waiting for a meeting to start.
Exactly. It's about making learning convenient and accessible. So instead of feeling overwhelmed by those huge online courses, you can just grab your phone and squeeze in a quick module.
So it's kind of like sneaking in a workout for your brain.
I love that. And the best part is that research shows that microlearning can cut training time by up to 60% without sacrificing effectiveness.
60%. So it's faster and it works better. That's pretty impressive.
It is, and it's all because it's designed around how our brains actually learn.
Okay, so we've talked about the science and the efficiency, but what about engagement? Like, let's be real. Traditional e-learning can be pretty boring.
Totally. But microlearning, that's a different story. The concise format, the relevant content, and the interactive elements, it all adds up to a much more engaging experience.
So you're not just passively watching a video or reading text.
Mm-hmm.
You're actually doing stuff.
Right. Organizations using microlearning report 50% higher learner engagement, and completion rates for microlearning modules can be as high as 82%.
Wow, that's a huge difference. So people are actually finishing these modules and enjoying them.
Exactly. They're not just checking a box, they're actually learning and retaining information.
And that translates into better job performance.
Exactly. It's a win-win for everyone.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about the science behind microlearning, the efficiency, the engagement. But now I'm really curious about how these 7-minute modules are actually put together. Like, what's the secret sauce?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. They've actually managed to blend cutting-edge AI with human expertise.
Okay, so it's not just some algorithm spitting out random content.
Right. They use AI to pull from this massive database of information, suggest multimedia elements, even create the first draft of the module.
Wow, so it's like having a superpowered research assistant.
Exactly. But here's the key. Those AI-generated drafts then go through a rigorous review process by actual subject matter experts.
So it's like having a master chef refine a dish that's already pretty tasty.
I like that analogy. So you get the efficiency of AI combined with the nuance and accuracy of human expertise.
So it's the best of both worlds. Basically, they're using technology to make the learning process smarter and more effective.
Exactly. And that's what makes these modules so unique and promising.
All right, so we've got the big picture now. I'm really curious to dive into what a typical 7-minute module actually looks like. Can you walk us through it step by step?
Yeah, absolutely. So each module starts with a quick hook, Something to grab your attention and explain why this topic matters.
Okay, so like a little teaser to get you hooked.
Exactly. Then they lay out the main learning goal, and this is always a SMART goal.
SMART goal, what's that?
It stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Basically, it means that the goal is clear and focused.
Okay, so no more vague, wishy-washy goals.
Exactly. From there, the module dives into explaining the concept using, clear, concise language and visuals.
So it's not just about cramming information in, it's about making it digestible and engaging.
Right. And to make sure you're not just passively listening, they include interactive elements like quizzes, scenarios, even short activities.
So you're actually applying what you've learned.
Exactly. It's all about active learning. And then to wrap things up, each module ends with a concise summary just to reinforce those key takeaways.
Okay, so it's like a little recap to make sure you got the main points.
Exactly. And you're left feeling like you've actually accomplished something.
Okay, so the structure sounds really solid.
Hmm.
But what about those AI-powered features we talked about earlier? Like, how do they come into play once I'm actually using the modules?
That's where things get really interesting. Remember how we mentioned each module has metadata tags?
Yeah, vaguely.
Well, that's the secret sauce that fuels the AI magic.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So think of it as a personalized learning concierge. Based on your activity and the modules you've completed, the AI can suggest additional modules, quizzes, even external resources that are tailored to your specific needs and learning goals.
So it's like having a personal learning assistant guiding you towards the most relevant information.
Exactly. And it can even provide personalized feedback, track your progress, and adjust the difficulty level of future modules to ensure you're always challenged and engaged.
So it's constantly adapting to your learning style and needs. That's pretty amazing.
It is. It's like having a personal trainer for your brain.
This is seriously blowing my mind. It sounds like they've really thought of everything to make these 7-minute modules as effective and engaging as possible.
They really have. And that's why I'm so excited about the potential of microlearning. It's a game changer.
It really does feel like a revolution in learning. And it's all thanks to this clever combination of technology and human expertise.
Exactly. And the best part is it fits seamlessly into the lives of busy professionals. No more excuses about not having time to learn.
So what does all this mean for the future of learning and development? Like, where do we go from here?
That's a great question, and one we'll tackle head-on in part 2 of our deep dive into 7-minute modules. We'll explore the broader impact of microlearning on organizations and what the future holds for this game-changing approach to learning.
Stay tuned.